from English Literature, Honeycomb, Lesson 6, Expert Detectives. In this lesson, we have three main characters, Mr. Nath, Nishad, and his sister Maya. Nishad and his 10-year-old sister Maya has always been inquisitive about their neighbor Mr. Nath. Nishad is also called Seven because his name meant the seventh note on the musical scale. In the musical scale, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, ni is the seventh note and hence Nishad is called Seven. One day, while playing, their marbles went inside his house and Nishad got a chance to catch a glimpse of Mr. Nath. To Nishad, he appeared to be a crook running away from the cops. He had a bad scar on his face and didn't have any friends. But Mr. Nath is a patient to their mother, who is a doctor by profession. Their mother has told them that he is a polite man. Now the two children were busy discussing their mysterious neighbor. They argued about his financial wealth, how he manages his food, and so on. Nishad thinks that he is poor and doesn't have much money, while Maya believes that he has got a lot of it and has kept it hidden somewhere in his room. Then it was Mr. Nath's scar that bothered the children. They believed that he might have got it as a result of an encounter. On their mother's birthday, Nishad went along with her to the clinic. He happened to see Mr. Nath there very closely. He was worried seeing Mr. Nath's gaunt appearance. In the evening, Nishad went to his place and gave a bar of chocolate to Mr. Nath. Nishad befriended Ramesh, the boy who used to bring food for Mr. Nath from a nearby restaurant. Ramesh informed him that Mr. Nath had 2 meals a day and tea in the morning and evening. His meal was the same every day and always used to pay in cash and tips as well. But on every Sundays he brought 2 lunches, and it is the same visitor that he found there. The visitor was a tall, stout, and spectacled man who talks a lot while Mr. Nath is a quiet person. The children were thrilled and they were discussing the possibilities of Mr. Nath being a crook. After the summer holidays, their school opened the next day, but they could not attend it because of heavy rains. Nishad was busy reading his comics when Maya informed what she had done. She had made a note of everything they knew about Mr. Nath, calling them facts, and gave a number to each one of them. Nishad disagreed with Maya for calling Mr. Nath a criminal. He felt bad for him for having no friends, while Maya thought that the visitor who comes to his place on Sunday may be his partner, who knows all his secrets and maybe the loot as well. Both the children had an argument, and Nishad was upset with Maya for calling Mr. Nath a crook. Nishad was interested only in finding out why Mr. Nath was so thin and a loner. He wanted to be his friend, and Maya's theories didn't have any impact on Seven. So the moral is to be always soft-hearted, kind, and polite to others. Answer the following questions. What did Nishad give Mr. Nath? Why? Nishad gave Mr. Nath a bar of chocolate because he concluded from Mr. Nath's lean, thin appearance that he was starving. What is strange about Mr. Nath's Sundays? Every Sunday, Mr. Nath used to have the same visitor at his home, and the two used to have lunch together. Why did Nishad and Maya get a holiday? It was raining heavily and the streets were flooded with the downpour. The traffic was also blocked, and so the children got a holiday. What does Nishad find out about Mr. Nath from Ramesh? Arrange the information as suggested below. what he eats, when he eats, what he drinks and when, how he pays. Nishad found out about Mr. Nath from Ramesh the following information. Mr. Nath used to eat 2 chapatis, some dal and a vegetable. He used to eat in the morning and evening. He used to drink tea in the morning and evening. He used to pay in cash and also used to give tips to Ramesh. Why does Maya think Mr. Nath is a crook? Who does she say the Sunday visitor is? Maya thinks that Mr. Nath is a crook because he doesn't talk to anyone and has no friends. She believes that his scars are a result of shootout with police. He doesn't work anywhere and sits at home all the day and there are no visitors at his place except the Sunday morning guest. He is not bothered about his meals and pays the money in cash. She thinks that the Sunday visitor is his partner in the crime. He keeps the money from the loot and comes to give Mr. Nath his share. Does Nishad agree with Maya about Mr. Nath? How does he feel about him? No, Nishad doesn't agree with Maya about Mr. Nath. He feels bad for Mr. Nath because he thinks that he is a poor and lonely man. He also feels that he is a generous man because he gives tips to Ramesh regularly. He is determined to find why he is so thin and lonely.